In this video, we are going to explain Asynchronous Byzantine Agreement, but before that, there are a few topics I would like to touch upon. I will start with two generous problems. It is a classic computer science and computer communication thought experiment that highlights the challenges of coordinating actions through communication over an unreliable link. Let's assume we have a general A and general B, whom are planning coordinated attack on their mutual enemy. Each general and their armies are located in separate camps, so the only way they can communicate is through messenger riders. But there's a chance that the messengers could be intercepted or fail to deliver the message. And even if the message was delivered successfully, the confirmation message might not make it. Both generals want to ensure that they attack simultaneously to maximize their chances of success. But the dilemma here is that none of the generals can be certain if the message was successfully delivered or handed back corrupted. It doesn't matter how many messengers you send back and forth, the problem remains the same. It's unsolvable. Because of this uncertainty, it is impossible for the generals to reach an agreement since communication is held over an unreliable link. Two generals problem is always used an introduction to the more general Byzantine generals problem. Byzantine general problem is a classic problem in computer science and distributed systems that deals with the challenge of achieving consensus among a group of nodes. In this case, we have Byzantine generals planning the attack. Since the army is scattered, the only way to communicate is through the messengers. The commander sends message to lieutenant. But what if we have a traitor? The traitor can arbitrarily decide to send different messages, thereby creating disagreement and confusion. The problem is complicated because the loyal generals don't know which nodes are traitors. The commander himself can be a traitor, and he can send contradicting messages to lieutenants. This problem is solvable if and only if more than 2/3 of the generals are loyal. Remembering the given example, we can say that with a total of 3 nodes and a presence of one traitor, solution is impossible. Let's talk about Byzantine fault tolerance. Byzantine fault tolerance is a characteristic of a system that refers to its ability to tolerate failures of system components. The Byzantine fault tolerance consensus mechanism is at the core of a blockchain safety. It ensures that blockchains continue operating, even if some networks participants are unreliable or malicious. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other proof-of-work and proof-of-stake blockchains employ BFT algorithms. Byzantine fault tolerance has brought about tremendous benefits to the blockchain industry, but in practice, it didn't completely resolve all of the issues. Communication between the nodes is needed, but it's a very time-consuming process that caused scalability issues. They are even more visible in extensive networks. We have to mention that the system is still not fully secure and is prone to attacks.
Now we can talk about Asynchronous Byzantine Agreement. Asynchronous Byzantine Agreement is designed to achieve consensus among a group of nodes, even when the network communication is prone to unpredictable delays, message losses, or other asynchronous behaviors. Asynchronous Byzantine Agreement protocols are crucial in distributed systems where message delays, failures, and unpredictability are common. They provide a means to achieve consensus in environments where synchronous assumptions are not valid, but at the cost of potentially longer execution times and probabilistic guarantees. Those protocols aim to allow the loyal nodes to agree on a common decision and ensure that the consensus is reached in a fault-tolerant manner. They agree because they ensure agreement. They guarantee that all of the nodes in distributed system agree on a particular decision. And also they're resilient to faults, so they tolerate and handle failures and ensure that the system still works properly. They also improve security, preventing malicious actors from manipulating the system. Although creating such protocols is very difficult because it's challenging to determine the network delay between nodes. In synchronous systems, processes run in sequence of rounds. The processor would send a message and get messages sent by other processes in the next round. But in asynchronous systems, there are no bounds on message delays and relative speed of processes, so there's no way to distinguish missing message with a message that was not sent at all. Asynchronous communication makes it very difficult to achieve consensus, and we should not forget that we still may have some Byzantine nodes in a network and they can disturb the agreement protocol. Let's continue with implementation. There are lots of different asynchronous Byzantine agreements, and they vary depending on their mechanisms and algorithms. Some of them involve cryptographic techniques, voting mechanisms, or some additional safeguards to ensure the security and correctness of the consensus process. But speaking generally, most of them work in multiple rounds, allowing nodes to exchange messages and progressively converge towards a shared decision. In initialization step, all nodes participating in the agreement protocol are identified, and a leader is selected to initiate the process. The leader could be predetermined or elected through a separate consensus algorithm. The leader proposes a value or decision to be agreed upon, and it broadcasts the proposal to all other nodes in the system. In the third step, nodes receive the proposal from the leader and exchange messages with each other. They share their received proposals and any supporting information or evidence they have. Nodes update their own proposals based on their received information. They incorporate the received proposals by applying a specific rule, such as selecting the majority value or computing a weighted average. After updating their proposals, they broadcast the updated proposals to all other nodes. In iteration step 3 and step 4 are repeated for multiple rounds to allow nodes to exchange information, update their proposals, and converge towards a shared decision. The number of rounds may vary depending on the specific implementation and the requirements of the consensus algorithm. And finally, after sufficient number of rounds, or when convergence criteria are met, nodes evaluate their proposals and decide on a final value. This could be the majority value, the value with the highest weight, or any other predefined rule. As for conclusion, we can say that asynchronous Byzantine protocols play a crucial role in enabling distributed systems to achieve agreement and consensus in the presence of fault and Byzantine nodes. Its significance lies in providing fault tolerance, enabling decentralized decision-making, ensuring security, and supporting real-world asynchrony, thereby facilitating the development of robust and reliable distributed applications. Thank you for listening.